Hey guys, welcome to the Voice of the Entrepreneur. This is Ahmed, the host and founder of VOE podcast and show. We are standing right outside the headquarters of Thinkific. If you haven't heard about this company, you better go check it out because it is fast growing to become the leader in online course creation platform. It's a company that allows you to create your own online course and sell it through their platform. It's incredible. I'm going to be sitting down here with the VP of Growth, Sid Bharat, and he is going to talk about everything online course, all the questions that you could possibly think of in order to make a successful online course. So check it out. Let's see what he has to say, and we'll go check him out. Hey guys, welcome to the Voice of the Entrepreneur. We got another wonderful interview here with us. We got Sid Bharat. Sid, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little while that I've been trying to get you to come and sit down with us and talk to us about Thinkific and your role in Thinkific and how this company is growing. So tell us a little bit about what Thinkific is, Sid.
Yeah, so Thinkific is an online course platform. So it allows you to create and sell your courses on the internet. It provides an easy-to-use tool where you can just drag and drop, point and click, create a website, upload your content, create a checkout process and collect payments from students and then manage those students as well.
Right. So it's a online course platform that makes it really easy for content creators to create their course and sell it online.
Yes, exactly.
Does it also help them market it?
That we have features that allow you to market it yourself. So we don't actually market the course for you.
Right.
Because each course is very different. Each course creator has their own personality. And so you got to use your own personality. Kind of like what you're doing with the Voice of the Entrepreneur. Right. You're marketing yourself. So you got to create your own like brand and then market your courses. But we allow you to create that course really easily.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. I mean, the evolution of the online courses is going so fast. I think Thinkific now, I hear more and more about it. It's definitely becoming one of the leaders, at least in this space, in the local space, I would say. You're the VP of Growth of Thinkific, but you're also an entrepreneur. And that's why I'm sitting down here with you with the Voice of the Entrepreneur. So tell us a little bit about your own background of where you have come from and what you've done before you joined Thinkific.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride for me. I started, after I did engineering in university. Nice. And then I was coding at Yahoo, and I spent a couple of years doing some coding. Then I got into business consulting at Deloitte, which is a top 4 consulting company.
Nice. Engineering, accounting, all kinds of different.
Yeah. So, and then, but I didn't really, I always had that entrepreneurial bug, I guess. Right. So I didn't want to stay in the 9-to-5 job. So I left and I went to South America to start a business. That was a travel company where we connected with the local tour agents, tour operators. Right. And those people did not have websites or, a way to market themselves online. They were all just local. And so we figured we could create a portal where travelers coming into South America can select tours from various operators. Cool. And then buy them online and we take a cut. Right. So we built that. We got like a little revenue coming in, but it wasn't a lot. And I just didn't know how to scale that up.
Right.
Because I was, brand new to starting a business.
Absolutely.
So shut that down and decided to go into like some freelance work and do freelance marketing for other companies and just, start building up my own brand and my experience. So I was doing that and traveling around South America, Southeast Asia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, all those places. And I came back to Canada and one of my clients was an e-commerce platform called Lemon Stand. Okay. It's like a Shopify competitor. Right. And they were here in Vancouver and I was in Winnipeg. And so they said, they wanted to hire me full time because I was doing marketing, consulting and freelance work for them. So I moved to Vancouver, I joined full time and I started doing that. On the side, I was creating my own online courses to teach people how to be a freelancer and because I had done fairly well with that. And that's how, I put it on Udemy, which is a marketplace, but Udemy controls a lot of the branding and the pricing. And I priced it at $300, but then Udemy would do a discount every day to everyone and sell it for $10, and then they would give me like $2 out of that, right? And they keep 80% of the sales. So it's getting $2 per sale. I was making $200 a month, which is not a lot at all. So I figured I needed to build my own brand and my own website around those courses, and that's how I found Thinkific. Okay. And back then, a couple of years ago, it was still a very small company. Not a lot of people had heard of it. I only heard about it because I saw the founder speak at an event here in Vancouver. So I connected with him. We were just chatting. I was giving some ideas. He was impressed by my marketing, expertise and ideas, and said, "Why don't you come join us and build a marketing team within Thinkific?" So that's where we are. 2 years later, we've grown the company from a small business to like one of the leaders in the space, and
Absolutely. And so the title VP of Growth, it's a befitting one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you grow a company, Sid, from 10 to 80? Like, what have you done to grow the company?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's honestly, I still don't even know how I did it. Well, the thing is, you gotta start by understanding, all right, what is, the product that you have, and who are the people who really need that product. Because there are people out there. You don't want to, marketing is not about trying to convince someone that they need your product. It's simply about finding the people who already know they need your product, or who already need your product and don't know about it, and then letting them know, hey, we've got the product, which is a solution to your needs, right? That's at the very, core concept is what marketing is. So what we did was, when I came in here first, we wanted some quick growth, right? You wanted to quickly grow, and then we can start hiring more people and then actually do, proper marketing. So it started off with some quick experiments, some quick, growth hacking kind of ideas. One of the cool things was I started off was doing competitor ads. So I was advertising against competitors rather than advertising for industry keywords like online course platform, which are typically more expensive.
Okay.
So just advertising for the competitor keywords, they weren't even advertising for themselves because the industry was still a little small at that point.
And to grow the industry as a whole.
Yeah, so I, like anyone who's going to a competitor's website, I'd put an ad up there and redirect them to our website. So that's how we started getting some really quick initial customers. And people who are going to a competitor's website, they know they want to create courses. They're looking to buy, possibly just buy the competitor's product.
Right.
So we just hijacking that traffic. That's one thing. Another thing was partnerships. We started building some partnerships and webinars, and getting influencers to promote our product. So some initial quick growth allowed us to start hiring a few people, and we got people to take over the partnerships. We hired someone for content. We hired someone for ads, and then as the team grew bigger, we do bigger and bigger campaigns as well, just because we had more resources. So it's kind of like an iterative process. As you do something, get some wins, hire someone, do something else, do a little more. Yeah.
Now, is this process that you've been able to successfully implement in the last few years with Thinkific, is this something that you can transfer to someone else? Like, what I'm trying to figure out, is this knowledge transferable? Like, can you put a course that's around this knowledge that you've gained and teach someone else exactly how to do this?
Yeah, I think it's possible to, and I'm actually working on a theory right now, which is like a basic process for when you're just about a brand new company and how to start scaling up if you want to scale up and to grow your company, right? So again, it starts with understanding the customer. It starts and the customer journey that they go through, then figuring out what are the channels. Now it does, to do all of this stuff, you do need to know like a bit of marketing. So it's not completely transferable to a newbie, but if you have some sort of marketing knowledge or skill, then it's easier for you to do this whole customer journey mapping and understanding which channels fit that journey map, and then understanding what kind of message to put in which channels and which ones are the biggest ROI, and then starting out with those channels and doing experiments in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That would be very useful to someone that would want to grow a company, either like this or even on a small scale. I think it's very applicable on those ways. Sid, the question that pops in my head when I think about online courses is that there's a lot of them out there, and they're growing at a very, very, neck-breaking rate, if you will. Like, they're really growing. What makes a course successful versus an unsuccessful course?
Well, first off, it has to be like a really good and valuable course, right? And when a student takes it and they finish the course and they get those results, that will automatically make it a successful course, because you've changed someone's life by teaching them whatever it is you're teaching in that course.
Right.
But then it's not just, enough to build it and they will come. That's not how it works in today's world. You need to also market it. So you need to have a good product, just like any other, and then you need to market it well. And a great way to market courses these days is partnerships. So partnering up with other people in your industry who already have an email list, getting them to, sort of doing like a joint venture or affiliate deal with them. Creating a lot of content like this, interviewing people or Facebook Lives or podcasts or stuff, just putting content out there which will attract people back to your course. Social media, just getting yourself into various Facebook groups and making yourself known over there, guest posting on other websites. A bunch of ways you can do that.
There's so many ways out there. And I think the successful courses are the ones that kind of incorporate all of these elements little by little.
Yeah.
Because, there's a thought that if you build it, that they will come. But like you said, that's not the case. You really have to build an infrastructure around it to create that funnel so that people can flow into the course.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't build a course at all. You want to be successful, and it'll take a couple of years, but you don't get scared by the fact that, I'm never going to reach that space. You've got to start with something. Start by, just if you don't have a course idea right now, just start by creating content.
Just great, yeah.
And then you'll get that idea soon. Then you can create, and as you create this content, you'll have people following you. You already have like a couple of hundred people in the group.
Yeah.
Then it's more than enough. Then you create a course and you say, hey guys, got this course.
Right.
Let me know if you're interested. You'll have 50 people say yeah.
Nice.
50 into whatever. If you want to start at $1,000, that's not bad, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even 10 people at $1,000, right? So.
Yeah, totally. And the way I perceive things is that it's great to charge that kind of money for a course, but for me, it's really about providing service.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make content that will really serve the people? Like if they're going to pay me, $100, $200, $500 for a course, how am I making their lives better?
Exactly.
And that's the kind of attitude that I come with if I'm going to create any content.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not like it's not a money grab here. You want to make sure that whatever you're charging, that the student gets, 10 times the value from it.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're charging, $1,000, the end result is the student gets $10,000 worth of whatever it is that your course teaches them, right?
Absolutely.
So that's really the thing, is to focus on the value of the student that it gets.
Absolutely. Sid, why is it that this online course world is growing at a rate that it is? What do you think is behind it?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. There's because there's both sides of the market that are growing. There are more people creating courses online, and there are more people taking courses online. And it's because the more people taking courses online, because traditional education is a broken model, right? It's expensive, it's time consuming.
Right.
Who wants to spend 4 years at a school and hundreds of thousands of dollars? You go into debt by the time you come out, and then the job market doesn't take you. And secondly, even if you did get an education, which is great,
right,
you do need to keep upgrading your knowledge and skills. Like it does, your learning never stops, right? If you want to get ahead in the world, because technology changes so fast, the world changes so fast, you got to keep adapting.
Yeah.
Truck drivers today, they're going to be out of a job pretty soon, right?
Unfortunately, right.
Yeah, trucks are becoming automatic, right? They're being self-driven. So what are they going to do? They need to go online and start learning new skills. And that's why the demand for online education is growing. Mm. And then the supply is growing because it's become easier with tools like Thinkific to create those courses and to generate revenue off it.
The question popped in my head. Do you think the demand is keeping up with the supply, or the supply is surpassing it?
Oh, I think the demand is
way ahead?
Way ahead, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, there's more and more people every day who want, and then there's not enough course creators because everyone's just sitting and they're too lazy to go ahead and create that content, or they're scared, or whatever fear is holding them back from starting that thing.
Right.
So that's why if you get in on it right now, there's a huge demand out there. You're riding the wave. If you wait and wait and wait, then maybe someday the supply will overwhelm the demand and no one's going to want to take it across.
I agree. Do you think there's a danger of having content or course content that is really not up to par, and it's something that should not be taught to other people, but it's out there because the tools exist now? Or do you think the market is going to kind of clean out that kind of discrepancies?
Yeah, I think yes, in both cases. Like there are some people who are selling these courses that really the content isn't the right, or you're teaching something that's completely incorrect, or whatever. It could, you're just trying to make a money grab. Right. But then at the same time, the market does scrub it out. Eventually people will catch on. A few people will take the course. They're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Right.
And, they'll ask for refunds, and, your business will go down because you're creating bad content and people want their money back. And they'll tell everyone else it's bad content. Don't go and listen to that person.
Right, but from your perspective, from Thinkific's perspective, as many people as you can get to create courses, that's better for your business model, right? So how do you filter? I guess this question is a bit more, philosophical, if you will, a bit more on the lines of, business ethics, if you will. How do you filter courses that that are not that are subpar, that are not of value? Is there a system like that in place?
It's impossible for us to do that. We can't, like, first of all, like, we have, I mean, as myself, the only thing I know is marketing.
Right.
So I can only evaluate a marketing course and tell you whether it's par or subpar.
Sure.
I can't evaluate a course that talks about, Bitcoin or something like that, right?
Right.
So for that we just don't have the expertise here to evaluate every course, and we have 100,000 courses. We don't have the people or the time or the manpower to look at everything. And it's not up to us to decide whether the course is par or subpar. We block off courses that are like derogatory or just stuff that shouldn't be online in the first place.
You mean like hate and
porn and stuff like that?
Really, there's course like that?
Well, there probably are, but we sort of we don't have that.
Okay.
Because it's against the rules of the business. But other courses that are someone's teaching you how to sell Bitcoin or how to trade Bitcoin. We honestly don't know whether that's right or wrong. I mean, right. The market will decide at the end of the day, and then that person will. Yeah.
Awesome. Sid, how do you start an online course? What's the process? If someone's here, if someone's listening to this saying, I have stuff that I could teach people, some really good stuff. What is the process of starting an online course?
The process is start by marketing the course before you create the course. So when I say marketing, it doesn't mean you need to like have 10,000 people or 1,000 people even.
Right.
Just first of all, start by validating whether that course topic that you have is worth teaching people. Is there demand for that course? Right. So yes, let's say again, I want to teach people how to trade Bitcoin. Start by asking people, hey, you interested in learning how to trade Bitcoin? If you get 10 different people saying yes, that's validation. Good. Now go and now put yourself out there and say, hey, tell people, I'm about to create this course. This is about trading Bitcoin. Come, pre-enroll in the course, pre-buy the course even. You can pre-sell it. Start generating that interest, get people excited about it. They're like, oh, wow, this course is coming up. And then maybe even just 100 people who are interested, they join your email list or your Facebook group or whatever it is. Then you can start creating that course.
Okay.
And the cool thing is you can create that course module by module. So you don't even have to create the full course before you release it to them.
Right.
You create the first video and release it to them. And you create the second video and release it to them. And so on. And you slowly build it up. And that's your course. And then after that, it's just like ongoing marketing.
And then about the technicalities of things, like does Thinkific help you exactly put the course together? How do you get the process rolling? Like, sure, the marketing is important in the beginning and you get the word out, but then people may stop and say, I don't know how to build a course. Like, I'm not good with a camera or something. Like, how can they get over that?
Well, that's the thing. You don't really need expensive equipment or high end. You don't need a studio and lights and cameras for a course. I know one person who started her course. She was teaching hula hooping online, and she started shooting with her mobile phone. She started shooting videos in a park, right? And that was all she had. And from there, she created that first course. And then you can always improve it as you generate revenue, as you start getting people come in. Then you can reinvest in lights and cameras and make it better. But the point is, your first course, it doesn't have to be Hollywood level production. Just use your laptop, built-in camera, your phone, whatever, shoot your videos, and as long as you're giving value to people, that's all that matters, right? And then that's your first course. So put something out there. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Put something out.
Yeah.
Because perfectionism is huge sometimes. People
Exactly.
just get caught up in how good it has to look before I can put it in the market. But then again, there is this fine line because we're so used to seeing content everywhere now. And we're so used to seeing really good quality content on all sorts of media. There is this thing that if you were to put, the content that's not high quality, why would people pay for that when they can get something that is much more high quality, at least in terms of how it's been shot, on the internet?
Well, here's the thing, like you look at Snapchat or Instagram, right? Everyone's creating these videos with their phones, right? and no one's going, oh, the video quality is not great, right? They're like, oh, they want to watch it.
Sure.
Like The Rock gets a million views the moment he gets on his phone and says, hey, what's up? I'm in
That's
Vancouver.
a good point.
Right? So the video in the quality of the video shot with our phones these days are excellent anyway,
Sure.
right?
Right.
Or the built-in, the new laptops that come out. So I honestly don't think people are going to be like, oh, it's a little grainy, there's a little shadow on his face, I don't want to watch it. If they're learning something from you, some new concept that's helping them change their lives, then that's perfect. They don't care, right? I've seen courses where it's completely screencast courses. I don't even look at you. There's no cameras.
Just screencast.
It's just screencast. It's just a PowerPoint presentation that some guy made in his mom's basement, and just recorded it, and it charged a couple of $1,000. But that content is so good that it gives you 10,000, 20,000 worth of value once you can finish that, right? So.
Absolutely. That's a really good point, that people are not really complaining about the content as much. But then again, that's free content that people are watching for entertainment. But when money is involved and people start paying for it, then obviously we become completely different people.
Yeah.
We expect things to be very good. But I totally agree on your point that if you are providing value, then maybe the quality of the content can take a back seat.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Man, Sid, here's a question that I'm sure all the audience is thinking about is, tell us, and I'm sure you have the data to answer my question probably better than anyone out there, is how much on average, how much is an instructor online making today? And it could be a wide range, but give us some numbers to chew on.
Tough question.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing some research and data, because we're coming up with like a guide to the creating a 6-figure course, which means $100,000 or more. Okay. I think the average instructor makes a lot less than that, maybe probably. Because the problem with the average is that you're taking into account all the people who make hundreds, thousands, even millions of dollars online with a course, but you're taking into account the thousands of people who want to start a course and just never really start, and they're all at zero, right? So all of that's additional data that doesn't really need to be there.
Right.
So, successful course creators, the average would be like more than $100,000. But if you take into account all the unsuccessful people, all the people who decide to create a course but they never really do anything about it, or just don't market it or whatever, then it goes down to like $30,000 a year.
Oh, that's still something. I mean, if someone was to be thinking about supplementing their income, doing online courses, $30,000, I would take that, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people out there who are they've created a course and they make an additional $1,000 per month on the side, which is good enough. You have a 9 to 5, and then you have an extra $1,000 to spend around for the family, buy a nice car.
Absolutely. I mean, it would not support a 6-figure business, but definitely would be a supplemental income if you are doing a 9 to 5 or any other job for that matter, right? That's beautiful. Sid, let's put a timeline on the process of creating a course so that people can understand. Okay, this is the steps that are involved. You do the marketing. Let's say you do the marketing, create content for maybe a few months, 2-3 months?
Not even that much. You just start, you can validate it in a day.
Okay.
Like you can validate the topic idea, and then maybe for a couple of weeks, you just put yourself out there everywhere, and try to get at least, 100 people come and be interested in your.
Okay.
So you're a couple of weeks of, and this is an ongoing thing, but once you're 2 weeks in and you've got a few people interested in, then you can start to produce that content, because now people are expecting it to come out.
Right.
So you start, maybe take a week to shoot the first, 5 videos. And each video doesn't even have, you can make a 10-minute video.
Sure.
Right? So 50 minutes of content. A week is more than enough time. Right? So you're 3 weeks in, you've put out the first set of videos, send it to people, they'll watch it, they'll give you feedback. And then, of course, at the same time, you're also still marketing and trying to get more people in.
Right.
In the next week, next set of videos, and so on, until maybe 6 to 8 weeks later, you've completed all the videos. You've been slowly getting people in. You've had that initial 100 people who's come in.
Nice.
So maybe you have 300 people who've taken your course. And then after that, the course is ready. You just ongoing marketing and try to get more and more people coming in.
So that's the timeline to pre-course preparation. If you're pre-course marketing, then you send the courses to people. Maybe in this case, if you're doing, one per week or one per 2 weeks, you're sending as you're making. But if you want to create one and then package it as a one course, then it might take you a month or 2 to make that. But after that, once you've done that, is that when the marketing starts? Like, I know we've done pre-marketing, but do you advise doing paid marketing for after the course creation?
Yeah, after it's all done, you can expand the marketing, because so far you've been doing some marketing, but also you've been creating content. So like your time's been split.
Right.
But once you've finished the course, your content creation time is over.
Yeah.
You can spend all the 100% of your time on marketing.
Right.
Then maybe you can expand to other channels. Maybe you can start doing some paid if you've already got like enough. You've collected enough revenue so far.
Right.
Then you have a bit of money to experiment with paid.
Right.
I do think paid is a little, for a lot of people, a little tough, just because costs are rising and everyone's trying to do Facebook ads and Google ads. So unless you're really good at that stuff and you understand how it works, I wouldn't suggest it.
Right.
Because it could be a costly experiment
Sure.
to start off with. So I wouldn't suggest it. But if you're comfortable with just spending a couple $1,000s to experiment and get some data and see where you can do it paid, then sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
But there's so many other ways to, like this
Content.
content and partnerships and affiliates and joint ventures. Like, yeah.
I guess because there's so many ways out there are ways to succeed, but because of that very reason, there's also a lot of reasons to fail.
Yeah.
Because people get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And they don't know what exactly to focus on, and they kind of lose and fall between the cracks, right? So, but no, great, advice on how to create the process of creating a successful online course. Love it, man. Personal question, Sid. You've been able to grow this company successfully from 10 to 80, which is awesome and great. What's next for you? What's going on through, what's going to be next for Sid?
Not sure. I mean, I'll just keep growing it, keep them new challenges always. So, that's kind of what I'm doing. Maybe I've also got some courses on the side that I want to keep building out. So I'm going to keep doing that, training people on how to market a company, how to grow a company, and certain strategies that have worked really well, like webinars, funnels, and Facebook ads, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be doing that as well.
That's beautiful, man. Sid, is there any last words of advice that you want to give for my audience who are, aspiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that are already doing great, but they want to think about going online with their materials? There are some words of encouragement or advice for them.
Yeah, action beats perfection. And I know people are always trying to wait till everything is perfectly lined up, all the ducks in a row. Oh, I don't have a big enough email list. I don't have enough content. I don't have enough, whatever. You can, anything you come up with that's stopping you from doing it, let's just call a spade a spade. It's an excuse. You can get started right now. You can take out your phone, shoot a video, and that's it. You already know your topic. Start creating content, start telling people, start putting yourself out there. And, just it'll come. You don't really need to know exactly what you're going to be doing each step of the way. You don't need expensive things. Just get started.
Absolutely. Sid, thank you so much for sitting down here with me and talking to us about this wonderful online course world that's just blowing up and growing.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Good.
Yeah.
Guys, another wonderful interview. And the theme is always very resounding that you have to, like Sid was saying, you have to go out there and take the action to make things happen. And why is that? Because most successful people know that the only way that you can get success is if you act on what you want to create. And if you don't do that, then you can think about dreams and have these grandeur dreams, but they don't go anywhere. So heed that advice. See what you can do next. Maybe tomorrow you can start something that you really want to create. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Until I see you again next time, have a great one, my friend. Awesome, man. Thanks, brother.
Thanks.
Hey guys, it's Ahmed. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast channel and definitely check out voepher.com for more interviews, podcasts, and tools. I also want to invite you to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/voice of the entrepreneur, where you can weigh in the conversation, learn, and share from other entrepreneurs just like yourself.